How are you, football fans? This Sunday, you can stream Fulham v Liverpool and Everton v Chelsea. That's an amazing Paddy's Day lineup for a one-off payment of just €10. To grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and only pay for the games that matter to you, search Now TV today. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Brain health has been very popular in the news lately, and this podcast is for you. If you've ever had brain fog, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, CTE, any of these issues, this is the podcast where we're going to jump into the latest research from Dr. Dale Bredesen, Dr. Daniel Amen, Dave Asprey of the Bulletproof Diet, so many other people, all the minds that are really out there paving the way, blazing a path for new research, new strategies that are actually working to get your brain optimized and working at its highest level. The Brain Builders Podcast is just for you. So get a notebook, get a pen, and get ready to open up your mind and get back to the person that you were meant to be. Hello, and welcome to the Brain Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. John DeWitt, and today we're getting back into Dave Asprey's book, Headstrong, and we're going to talk a little bit more about blue lights because we talked about that last time and how blue is the worst color and worst light for the brain to process. So where are these damaging blue lights lurking? The main sources are the technological devices we spend our days staring into, the junk light from our smartphones, tablets, laptops, and e-readers, and from the LED bulbs in our surrounding environment goes straight into our eyes and then into our brain, where it damages cells and lowers our performance. Fluorescent and LED lights also cause a reduction of NAD in the mitochondria in your eyes. And as we discussed earlier, your mitochondria need NAD to complete the Krebs cycle and produce energy. A reduction in NAD causes all of the weaknesses that can stem from a lack of energy in your cells. Over time, this can change the shape of your eye, triggering nearsightedness. Even in the short term, this type of eye stress makes your brain tired. Yes, junk light can weaken your eyes, so you need to wear glasses. And I also mentioned before that we are having the updated version of the Natural Vision Correction class on March 31st. So look for the Relax the Clarity group on Facebook, and we'll get you in there so you can be a part of that free training. So light sources also regulate your circadian rhythms, the physiological process that tells you when to sleep and when to wake. Plants, animals, fungi, and even bacteria all have a 24-hour circadian rhythm. Your eyes contain special light sensors that control your sleep timing. These sensors become activated at the frequency of 480 nanometers, which is in the blue spectrum. Your phone, TV, laptop, and every LED in your home all emit this light frequency. When it hits your eyes, each of the 10,000 mitochondria in your cells pays the price. Their energy production slows, they produce more free radicals, and the structure of the water they contain is altered. This causes inflammation and negatively impacts your sleep, preventing you from falling asleep easily and sleeping deeply. This stresses every system in your body and results in even more inflammation. It's a slippery, sleepy, and poorly lit slope. Being exposed to artificial light at night also has a negative impact on your circadian rhythm. When you're exposed to daylight, your body produces serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Your body breaks down serotonin into melatonin, which is a hormone that helps you sleep. If you're not exposed to enough natural sunlight during the day, you won't have enough melatonin to sleep well at night. You may have trouble falling asleep, but more likely you won't cycle through the most restful, deepest stages of sleep. Oh, and low melatonin is well known to be associated with cancer risk. Many people think they're getting enough sleep because they go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7. That's 8 hours, right? So why aren't you full of energy? Because it's the quality of your sleep that really matters, more than the quantity. Exposure to artificial light after dark slows your melatonin production even more, which prevents you from getting quality sleep and causes you to gain weight. Lack of sleep and weight gain both contribute to mitochondrial inefficiency, and without sufficient energy, your brain suffers. To put it simply, junk light equals junk sleep. And in the office here, we actually recommend 6.5 to 7.5 hours of sleep, of the good quality REM sleep is what you really, really need. But being out in the sun is really important for that. So there are two things you can do to limit the damaging effects of junk light, and we'll explore each in greater detail in the following episodes. The first is to cut down on your exposure to blue light. The second is to increase your exposure to high-quality light sources to balance out the excess blue that you get. Sunshine is best, but you probably aren't going to spend hours outside if you have an office job or live in a Pacific Northwest rainforest like Dave Asprey does. Don't worry, you can have a life and feel great even if the sun isn't available as often as you need it. The Headstrong program will show you how. And it is a 2-week program to reset your brain and get you functioning at optimal. Very exciting. So red light means go. Think about all the different colors the sun cycles through in a day. At sunrise, it has a reddish pink glow. Toward the middle of the day, it shifts to blue with lots of UV and infrared light to balance it, which you can't see. As the afternoon bleeds into the evening, it transitions back to beautiful shades of orange and red. This light rhythm has existed longer than mammals have roamed the planet. Needless to say, we have evolved to live in accordance with this rhythm, our circadian rhythm. The bacteria that are now our mitochondria used to float in the ocean where they were constantly bathed in sunlight during the day. And they operate on the same circadian rhythm that we do because they're in charge. They wait during the day to eat and produce energy when food is abundant and sleep at night to repair when it's cooler, there's no sunlight, and they have no access to food. Your mitochondria are meant to experience red light all day, with less blue at the start and end of the day. When we spend time outside, as nature designed humans to do, our eyes and the mitochondria they contain are constantly exposed to full spectrum light. Unfortunately, these days we spend relatively little time outdoors soaking up the sunshine, and our mitochondria are paying the price. When we're indoors, we get tons of blue light, but no red, no infrared, and no UV. It's no wonder that mitochondria get confused and don't perform as well as they should. Dr. Gerald Pollack, water expert and bioengineering professor from the University of Washington, has also discovered that infrared light turns the water in our bodies and in plants into the biologically useful easy water that supports mitochondrial function. This easy water should always be in plentiful supply in our cells, but the toxins we ingest from food, the environment, and junk light alter the structure of that water. This causes inflammation and leads to energy problems. This is no small issue. Keep in mind that your body is 70% water. If light has the power to change that water, it also has the power to change you. We all intuitively know that some types of water are better than others. People feel good after doing a juice cleanse despite the sugar because they're getting so much easy water from plants. We feel refreshed after drinking water from a young coconut for the same reason. This is also why we bother to eat cucumbers even though there are almost no actual food energy in them. These are all great sources of biologically useful easy water, but you can also help your body make more easy water by exposing yourself to infrared light. Doing so provides fuel for your cells and will give you dramatically more energy to be you. That's why the infrared sauna is so important as well. I love the infrared sauna. I encourage you to find a place near you where you can get a membership and go at least 4 times a month. For all these reasons, exposure to natural light is essential for proper brain function, and while it's frustrating that we've limited our access to high-quality light and replaced it with junk light, it's exciting to know that there are many new technologies that can help us replicate the natural light cycle. At Bulletproof coffee shops and at the Bulletproof headquarters, they've built in custom lighting to help employees and customers feel more energized. At home, Dave uses ultraviolet sun lamps for about 10 minutes each morning, and he has a strip of red LED lights above his desk that he uses while he works to balance out the excessive blue that's built into our technology. If you sit in an office with junk light all day long, he highly encourages you to invest in some simple LED red lights to place in your environment, switch to halogen lights if possible, and get some quality outdoor light exposure throughout the day. Keep in mind that your skin must have direct access to this light in order for you to reap all of the benefits, so be sure to at least roll up your sleeves to get the maximum effect. Because he works from his home office, he takes it a step further, unbeknownst to his team. He's often standing naked in front of his UV-rich sun lamp while he's on a conference call. That's Dave Asprey for you. As long as it's not a video call, it's all good. Another way to increase your healthy light exposure is to spend time in an infrared sauna, like I said a minute ago. Earlier, we talked about how infrared saunas can help your body detox. He's been using an infrared sauna for years, and at first, he was using it to detox from toxic mold and mercury exposure. Now that he knows that infrared is also beneficial for his eyes and the production of easy water, he makes it a point to spend some time in his infrared sauna every day. Even once a week can make a difference. Light and your skin. Collagen, the main structural protein in the human body, has a direct relationship with your mitochondria, and studies show that mutations in collagen affect mitochondria. More research on this relationship is needed, but it makes sense that anything that helps you build healthy new collagen will also benefit your mitochondria. When it comes to light, it turns out that red light is well documented to make both collagen and mitochondria grow. In fact, red light exposure causes collagen synthesis, and this is great if you want healthier skin. I mean, who doesn't? So he's working to live to 180 years old, but he never wants to look that old. So he puts extra collagen protein powder in his bulletproof coffee to provide collagen building blocks for his body to use with his red light exposure. He also recharges his collagen and mitochondria in the Red Charger, which is a piece of biohacking gear at Bulletproof Labs with 40,000 red and infrared LEDs. He will share some simple strategies you can use at home in the Headstrong program. Visual kryptonite. Limiting your exposure to junk light and increasing your exposure to high-quality light sources like red and infrared light are two easy ways to boost your energy level and mental performance. Another simple hack is to reduce the amount of visual kryptonite in your environment. Limiting your exposure to junk light is a good start, but there's more you can do. Certain types of visual stimulation, such as high glare and contrast, which you might see while driving at night or when it's particularly sunny out, cause your brain to work harder than usual to process information. This stresses your brain and leads to headaches, irritability, and an inability to focus. It's also one reason you get tired in the middle of the day, even if you've had a good night's sleep. You need a relaxed brain to perform at your peak, and that means cutting down on visual kryptonite. He learned about the impact of visual kryptonite the hard way back in 2009 when he landed his dream job. He got to be an entrepreneur in residence at Trinity Ventures, a top-tier venture capital firm on Silicon Valley's famous Sand Hill Road. It was a job he had wanted since he was 12 years old, and when he first learned what venture capitalists did, that's when he decided that's what he wanted to do. So what could be more fun than identifying the next Facebook or Google when they were tiny startups? He came into the office fully charged and ready to kick ass every morning. Unfortunately, being at the bottom of the rung, he got stuck in a windowless office with poor quality fluorescent lighting. He also had a brand new Mac with a glossy reflective screen and an LED backlight that was much brighter than any computer he'd ever used. After just a couple of days, he started to feel profoundly fatigued, usually right at the time of day when he needed to be the most productive. He could feel his brain slowing down, and none of his normal biohacks seemed to help. The only thing that made a difference was going outside every half hour to get some sunshine. After a month, he realized that his computer screen was making him tired. He found a company that would replace his glossy screen with an anti-glare screen and started to get his energy back. He also adjusted the brightness and the contrast settings on his computer, installed a type of software called F.LUX, which I have on mine as well, that controls the color of your computer screen, and he wore his trademark orange sunglasses that block blue light. These small adjustments made him far more resilient throughout the day and brought his energy back, and just once, he was mistaken for Bono. Those orange glasses don't just make him look cool, no snarky comments please, just let him believe that that's true. And I've seen them and they're okay. But they protect his brain. His friend Helen Irene is a world-renowned vision educator and researcher. More than 20 years ago, she received a federal grant to study methods to help children and adults with learning disabilities. While doing so, she discovered that a large subset of the population without learning disabilities, Helen estimates 48% of us, has a visual processing disorder that is now known as Erlen syndrome. If you have Erlen syndrome, you may have trouble reading for long periods of time because the contrast on the pages, in printed pages as well as e-readers, is overwhelming, and you likely get tired while driving at night because of the glare from oncoming headlights. The reason these common activities tire you out is that you use a lot of brain power to filter out the light frequencies that your brain has trouble coping with. This puts your brain in a state of chronic stress, making it difficult for you to focus and limiting your performance. Symptoms of Erlen syndrome include headaches, eye strain, difficulty reading, fatigue, poor depth perception, dizziness, and trouble focusing. So, we've talked about blue light and junk light, and we are going to continue to talk about that a little bit next time, and then we're going to get into the quality of the air you're breathing, which is also going to affect your brain function. This is Dr. John DeWitt. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you or hear you next time. Have a great day.